Awesome possum. Alrighty. Welcome to Common Tenacity. I'm Hannah, and this here is Alyssa,
Yes,
Spectrolite.
hello. Hey.
And we're here with more Illusion of Gaia. Now, this time I am even more prepared because I totally just read the whole script over the weekend.
Which is really cool. Yeah.
it was a good journey. It was a good journey. I liked reading it again, and I think that it holds up. You know, some parts are a little bit extreme or slightly unbelievable just because it's a little extreme, but in a general sense, I think that it's very entertaining and good and sticks really true to the original while also making it better. So that's just how I felt when I read through it again.
I really should reread it again.
You would love it.
Oh, I'm sure I would. Yeah. And it's good to hear that some of it holds up. Even though we wrote it oh my gosh, long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a decade ago.
Has it really been 10 years ago? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because it was 20, yeah, it was 2011 when we were in the thick of it. 2011
yeah,
and 12.
You're right. Right. Wow, 2011. Jeez, a decade ago. Wow.
Yep.
A decade ago. That's crazy. It was pretty much immediately afterwards that we started doing his Piers Black. So his Piers Black was
it was
2012?
2012 as well as 2013, and it bled just slightly into 14.
And on into that.
As far as the books go, because 2014 is when I went on my mission. And I left in April. So, and I remember it was 2 months before me going on my mission is we put out that second book.
Right.
So,
Man, that's crazy.
I was gonna grab them, and then I forgot. So the books are still sitting on the shelf. That's okay. I'll show them.
I have a few copies down in our living room too. Yeah.
Yeah. So if people want to see the books in the flesh, we can just go get them.
Oh yeah.
Ay, screams from the back of the cave. That is something we didn't, I don't know, really implement. I mean, we implemented just kind of the tones of, and slave traders whipping people, and that's not very good, and that causes screaming. But, there was never an instance of this in what we did.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, we didn't say, oh, he heard a scream and chills ran down his spine. We didn't implement those weird lizard creatures. We did implement one of these things. We made it in the wall though, rather than just in the floor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Oh my goodness.
And then the other enemy that we implemented was the eyeball guy that turns to stone.
Oh right, yeah. The beholder looking dude.
Yeah, that's the other. Oh, on the back end. Oh. And we definitely incorporated the lifts here. That was a big thing that we did. Oh, it follows me. Yeah, I have a pet. Just kidding. It's no longer following me. Ha! I got your big orb. But yeah, those are the really only two enemies that we incorporated. I just ran into that. Not that there's not that there's a whole lot of enemies in here.
Yeah, I think there's only those 3.
Yeah. It's a pretty... This is a mini dungeon. Like, this isn't
Yeah,
a full-fledged...
it's not a main thing, yeah. It's not
Yay, I got health back.
It's really funny how, like, not a big deal it is in the game, but, like, in our little comic adaptation, it was like... I don't know, it was just so good that it was like, how could we not put a lot of focus into this? But I remember it was like kind of a big deal in the comic. We made it a lot more plot heavy in the comic because of the whole Eric situation.
Yeah. So how we handled it in the comic was, of course, Eric is behind that door. And the guy, when you knock on the door, he says, if you don't want to lose your lives, then go home. And that's kind of weird. And it says that, lives, like, in the game. And that's kind of maybe a mistranslation, but maybe not. Who knows? But we decided to pull that directly. And we decided that it interpreted like Eric could die and Will could die, if you don't want to lose your lives, plural, then Will is like, lives, wait, hey, Eric is in there, isn't he? Give him, let him go.
Yeah, right.
And then he breaks down the door with a psycho dash, and then he like starts interrogating he starts trying to get the guy to let him go, the labor dude, and then he like I don't remember, Eric says something or like Will or something, and then like the labor trader like hits Eric, and then Will like gets real mad. He's like, don't you dare touch my friend, like, and starts punching him in the face.
Mad. Right, yeah.
And there's like a cool moment where he like he pulls out a knife, and that's like scary. But then he
ooh, scary.
I mean, Will has a flute. It's not sharp.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Oh no.
Well, it's also, I think, kind of a big deal. I don't know if we like really I can't really super remember. 10 years ago, wow.
Depressing.
But it's like, I think it was kind of a big deal too that it was like, it's a lot more infuriating, because it's like, it's not like Will's fighting monsters. He's fighting, oh wow, hey Crystal Chaos. Hey, good to see you.
Sup?
But anyways, it's like, it's not like Will is fighting monsters, he's fighting humans.
Yeah.
Like, which should have like a moral code. And so I think it strikes a nerve with Will a lot more, not just the fact that it has to do with his friend being in danger, but it's also has to do with just like,
the principle
I shouldn't
of
expect this kind of I shouldn't expect this kind of behavior from humans. It's like he expects better. So yeah, it like makes him really mad, or something.
Yeah, and so we had it so that he gets into this altercation, and then Will basically gets, I think he gets like conked on the head, and when push comes to shove, and anyway, he like tries to go after Eric, and then like they fail, and then what ends up happening is Will, there's like an ominous line from Kish, is the labor trader's name that had kidnapped Eric. And
I forgot that was his name.
Yeah, Kish. I like it was always kind of like, I like the name. I as Hannah liked the name, and Alyssa was always like, I don't know about the name. But then we never came up with a different one, so bam, it's Kish.
Stuck with it. Yeah, it's Kish.
So
it's not a bad name,
It's just like, she just
forgot.
wasn't sold on it.
I wasn't
But
sold on it yet.
I'm like, if you want to pick a different name, that's cool. I like Kish, but you know, oh, I am in him. I don't like that. Then I get damaged. Oh, hey, big
Yeah.
chest. I found an herb, hidden in the depths of the mines. In a nice, pretty treasure chest.
Probably belonged to one of the like slave trader dudes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume. I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Man, I don't know. I'm just remembering, thinking back to like things about the comic. Like I think I think there's a part. It's like near the end where it's like in this little mini dungeon. You know, Will's looking around looking for the slaves to free them from their shackles and their chains. And what was it? He like feels wind behind like a wall or something like that from like a cave-in the game.
So I can explain that part because
I
remember.
I remember we did something with that, with like a crystal room or something.
I don't know what that button did, but I pressed it. And I pressed that one too. Is this a time thing?
Yeah, I know what you're doing. I remember that as part of the game.
I jumped down. Wah, wah. Didn't realize I could jump down there. But, yeah, like, Will and Eric do not succeed in escaping, and in fact, some other labor traders show up, and then, oh, boss, what's the ruckus? You know, oh, we have a couple new ones on our, you know, we have a new slave on our hands. Here, this one's feisty. He'll be put to good use. And it's like, all like, he says it all way more ominously than I did.
Yeah. It's not like, oh boy, yes. Yeah. And I'm good, Crystal Chaos. Things are going really well. So, I don't believe you were here for any of the other things. So, this is, I think, the third stream, I want to say, of us playing Illusion of Gaia. So, just to kind of catch up to speed, just because...
It's a weird stream.
It's like, you know, we're talking about this whole thing, and it's like, what the heck are they talking about? What slaves? Whoa. So this part of the game, Will, who's the main character for Illusion of Gaia, is infiltrating a mine.
There's a slave.
And he's freeing slaves. Like, see that guy with like the green hair and green mustache? That poor guy was a slave. To a bunch of monsters and human slave traders, and Will is freeing them because he's like, that's fucked up. So yeah, so that's what's going on in the game. But to catch you up even more up to speed, is the whole reason why we're talking about this is because me and Hannah, this is my good friend Hannah, childhood like best friend in all honesty. I
jumped off the thing again. No.
Dude, that's like the third time you've done that.
It is exactly the third time.
Yeah. But yeah, so we 10 years ago we're very ambitious about this game. We love this game very much. It's very special to us. And so we wanted to make a comic about it. We never ended up getting through very far, and by very far I mean like we didn't even post it anywhere.
Yeah, like honestly, the extent of the comic, we will probably get through as much game today as there is comic. Like, anyway.
And it's not even really it never really became a comic. It was more of a script writing.
Yep.
We just called it the comic because that was the plan, was to make a comic out of it, like a web comic. But it didn't get far. It like didn't even get through like the first 2 pages, because we started writing the script for the comic, and it was together, both me and her. But it was my job as the artist to like draw it all, and very quickly did I realize it was just too much work, especially back then, because I wasn't as good or efficient as an artist. And it's like, I also didn't really understand how comics were made. Like I put way too much work into it, and that's not how you make a comic, unfortunately. But we got semi-far for the script throughout the game, making an adaptation for it. And yeah, we're just kind of talking about like how the what we did back then was for this part of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we changed a lot of this specific part of the game. So what I did over the weekend was, yes, I needed health. Yay, drop. Was I actually read through the Gaia script, and there was a lot that I'm really glad that I refreshed, because it was just so long ago that I like have faint memories of like, this is generally what we did. But since I was able to read that, I know more concretely what we decided to do. Yay, Gaia! Okay, don't jump off. I don't know if I can jump off there, but just in case, be real careful. All right.
Also, it sounds like your connection's bad. You might want to try refreshing the stream, Crystal Chaos.
Oh, me, my connection is bad?
No. I think Crystal Chaos's connection is messing up, because I guess we keep skipping, like the recording, the live stream keeps skipping. So that really sucks. Yeah.
Sad days. I mean, we have the Ethernet cable plugged in. I think it should be, you know, good, right?
I don't know. Internet connection can be really sucky sometimes. I'm sorry it's skipping. That sucks. But if it's any consolation rather, excuse me, is Hannah, you will be uploading these on your YouTube channel.
Yes,
I believe.
I will.
Yeah,
I will. And I'll try to I'll do my best to, I don't know, make it so that, you know how in like when you listen to soundtracks on YouTube, how they have like, oh, for this song, go to this link, and it has it in the comments. I'll try to do that, but with like questions. Like, you know, when we talk about a topic, then I'll have it in the description, like, Diamond Mines outline, I don't know, and then you can like go there if that topic interests you. So then you don't have to like sift through all of this content to find the answer that you're actually interested in hearing about. So
yeah, and that's actually really cool that you want to do all that, Hannah. That's a lot of work.
I mean, I'll watch the videos anyways, so
that's true. You're right. Yeah, it's honestly like Gaia, and like you'll see this when you start watching the first video, but like doing the Gaia script writing is pretty much the origin of what led to As Pure as Black. The what is now original, but originally started out as a really silly but yet really amazing and dear to our hearts fanfiction crossover thing between Zelda and Illusion of Gaia, but mainly Illusion of Gaia, which is why we're playing the game, because Illusion of Gaia pretty much comprised, I want to say, pretty much like 99% of what As Pure as Black was before we converted it into original and like scrapped all of the like fan fiction OOC stuff. But yeah, because it really did all come from Gaia. So yeah, it's really neat. It's a lot of information. So yeah, when we upload, or when Hannah, uploads the first episode, we really go into how Gaia like led to As Pure as Black, and then, you know, converting it into original and the whole timeline with that. Really neat. It's so much.
Goodness gracious. Oh well, didn't even successfully shield that. Darn. Oh well. But yeah, the Diamond Mines is really the first place where we totally went like way off script. We usually tried
Yeah.
to stick to the script pretty well. But we thought that the diamond mines deserved a little bit more attention and reworking than what was just given in the game.
Yeah.
Don't.
Because it's like, in Illusion of Gaia, there's a lot of, like, what was it? What was I gonna say? Oh man, I had a point and it just fled.
Story elements?
Sorry, I'm a little out of it today. I'm feeling a little sick, so excuse me if I seem a little off.
Sad days.
Nah, it's okay. I tried to take a nap before coming on stream, but I more just woke up feeling worse. Have you ever done that?
Oh yes.
I'm like, oh no, but I didn't want to like bail, so I'm here.
Well, we appreciate your presence. Oh. Okay.
Yeah, man, because it's like I already couldn't make it to Tuesday because, you know, resetting my schedule and everything, which worked, by the way. I'm on a super early bird schedule, but it's just like, yeah, I don't know. Today's is not my day. But anyways, yeah, it's as Hannah was saying, for the Illusion of Gaia comic, which to clarify for you, Crystal Chaos, that's before as Pierce Black started. We did the Illusion of Gaia comic because we loved the game so much. We're like, oh man, this game needs more love. We should do a comic or something about it, because we've seen like adaptations of people making web comics or whatever of existing games before, and we're like, oh, I bet we could do the coolest comic for Illusion of Gaia, which we totally could have. It's really cool. I remember some parts. I mean, given it was made 10 years ago, we were teenagers back then, I'm sure there's some parts that are very cheesy or maybe not written as well as we could now, but it's a bomb-ass diggity comic. I really do think it could have been like a really, really awesome comic. But anyways, yes, the comic was way before As Pure as Black, and pretty much as soon as we stopped doing the comic, we immediately started doing As Pure as Black. And so we worked on the comic from like, what was it? It was like...
It was 2011 was the thick of us working on the comic. A little bit of 2010 too.
Right, yeah. Okay, so we started the comic 2010.
And then
we were in the thick of it for 2011. And then we...
Till October of 2012.
Okay.
That's when it merged into... Okay, stopping Gaia comic script
and going into
As Pure as Black.
The like crossover fanfiction roleplay thing that we had, which is As Pure as Black. So yeah, so As Pure as Black started 2012.
And to answer your question, Malcontent Melon, yes, we are in the diamond mine. If you couldn't tell.
But yeah, anyways, so for the comic for Illusion of Gaia, it's an adaptation that we tried to do. As Hannah said, we were trying to keep like script pretty much, but it was just like, there's so many things about the diamond mines that were very interesting. They had like a lot of very interesting like aspects about this little mini dungeon, about like slave trading that's going on in the world, and Will's friend getting kidnapped, and Will needing to have that motive to, I guess, infiltrate the mines and overthrow it, and turn getting sucked into it and then becoming a slave and stuff. You know, there was so much potential in the diamond mines, more than any other probably dungeon, except for maybe Mew.
And then just to really show this off, there is, you know, no wind in Will's hair, so he can't, you know, nothing. But then you stand here, and you're like, whoa, why is his hair blowing? Well, you do a psycho dash, and then, whoop, there's an entrance. And so how we incorporated that into... Wait, is that Gaia again? We just saw her.
It's a good job!
But, how we incorporated that into the comic is they're really, like, there's just they kind of get stuck in a cave-in, essentially.
Right.
Actually, Will and Sam, but I'll get into that. But yeah, they are like, wait, there's air, you know, there's movement, there's an air current, and then they like, can get out of the cave-in. But I don't want to cut you off if you were in the middle of like a thought, and you
No,
wanted to
you're
continue.
good.
But to just like continue the like what we did through this part. So Will gets captured as a slave, and Eric, he's not being used as a slave for whatever reason by Kish. He's just kind of, I don't know. I don't really know why Kish brought Eric to the diamond mines, honestly. But we just had him, like, Kish brought him to teach him a lesson, I guess. Like, because Eric tried to free the slaves. That's why he was caught in the first place. And so, I guess in order to teach him a lesson, he's just gonna show him, like, look, these are slaves and this is what they do, and suck it, you weren't able to save them. But he just basically...
That's fucked up.
I know. But he is
he is a villain. I guess,
he's totally a villain. And it
makes sense.
Really,
as villains do.
And, like, I totally forgot there's a character that is a labor trader that his name is Creed. Do you remember him at all, Alyssa?
I think I do actually remember Creed.
I, like, as soon as I read his name, I'm like, oh, yeah, there's another dude.
I forgot about it until you told me.
So that's like super interesting.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Will is brought to the diamond mines as a slave to actually do labor, and Eric is brought as, like, Kish calls him his nephew. He's like, this is my nephew, and he was interested in learning more about my line of work. And everybody is like, don't you think he's a little young for this kind of exposure? And he's like, it's fine. He asked for it. I don't know. But
that's a little funny though. I think that's a little silly. I feel like if we were to make the adaptation today, you know, like, I feel like we just would have made him a slave.
Look at my new power.
Your new power? Oh,
new
yeah,
power.
I forgot Freedom's power is red.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a good ability.
Yeah, it is. It's so broken.
Yeah, it's really, really good. I mean, Freedom's meant to be, like, crazy strong. Yeah. Like, he's
Frieden
the real warrior.
OP, man. Frieden's the best.
Except he's like, okay, Will can't do this, so I'm gonna step in and
except for
and
when you're fighting cast off, then you can only get hit 3 times, and it's okay. You didn't miss anything. You didn't miss anything last stream because I totally didn't die like over and over to one boss who's difficult in the early game.
Yeah, that was really funny. You were on that boss for like 20 minutes.
I know. If not longer.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny when Jarom's like, let me do it.
He couldn't even land
he would enter the room and die immediately. It was so great. Man, I wish I was there. I would love to give it a shot.
Alright, where am I going? Fun. I think there's probably a button I need to hit as Frieden or something. But I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what continuing on, I guess, with what happens in the script is so Will is forced to, you know, you're going over there in those caves, and they're like really the dangerous part because they just are. And they're dangerous because there's these creatures that are, you know, they're the purple things that can shoot little fireballs. But we made them massive, and we made one like burrow in through the wall and like, and it totally caused like a cave-in, and a bunch of like all the slaves that were working there, they died. And
that's so sad.
Like even I think Sam or Will or whoever, like they see one of the slaves get like crushed by a boulder,
Oh,
and that's depressing.
Oh no!
I know.
Oh wow, that's really sad and dark.
I know.
Jeez.
Hey
Oh my
Gaia,
goodness.
what's up? I think I'm
What's up,
not
Gaia?
supposed to go in here because I think there's like a switch I need to do as Frieden, or do I need to find another? I'm not sure. Because I just got
don't think
this.
you turn into Will right now.
Because yeah, I just got this power. Why would I get this power
You
if
have
I'm
to
not going to
use it.
use it? So,
Yeah, no, you definitely have to use it. There's no way that you'd be Will right now.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
I'm like, wait, how do I progress forward?
I also like haven't played this game though in ages, so I don't really know.
Yeah, but wandering around gives us more time to talk about the diamond mines, I guess. So
yeah, that's true. I just remember the diamond mines being the coolest thing because like I remember in the comic, you know, it's like
it's this
again
guy.
drawing dungeons
Wait.
is like one of those
No, it's
things
not.
where, or not drawing dungeons, writing for dungeons, one of those things is there's not really a script, so they're a lot more difficult to make adaptations for. Excuse me, and my brain isn't completely awake right now. Anyways, it's like so you know we have to use elements from the game in order to make an adaptation so that we can come up with a script that makes sense. So one of those elements is Sam, and so Sam is one of the slaves that you meet before the diamond mines, and Will, I believe, was transported when he was taken in to be a slave for fucking with things he shouldn't. He what was it? You know, he came across Sam because they were kind of in the same shipment to the mines. And so they ended up, you know, we're given this character that we become associated with before the mines, and then we find him in the mines in the game, that it just made sense to utilize that connection to be like, oh, cool, let's have Sam and Will kind of like become friends and work together and everything to liberate these slaves. And you know, Sam also to liberate himself.
And it's cool because Sam,
yeah,
we got a note earlier when we were stuck on the raft, and it was written by Sam, and it was
all the more
hey,
reason to
please come, please save us.
Yeah. So it's like you have all these, you have several accounts of like, I guess foreshadowing or like leading up to Sam being an important character. You know, and in the game, it's more just kind of like, oh, that's really cool, that connects. But like, if you're writing an adaptation for a game into a comic, it only makes sense to like really enhance that, you know what I mean? Utilize that. So yeah, we ended up making him like a big deal, like a main character for this segment of the comic, and it was really, really neat. And I actually really like Sam a lot. I remember, yeah.
Sam is
and
cool.
You know, it's another thing too is that the game is like, oh, this is the diamond mines. They're mining for diamonds.
And you don't see any diamonds.
There's none.
They mine them all. They're all gone.
Yeah, they're all gone. So yeah, we had to kind of bring that in, I guess, to the design of the comic, you know, so they're not just like look for diamonds and also they don't find any. That doesn't make sense. So we yeah, you know, like they would find diamonds and stuff in the comic, but also I guess during their excavations, they found like a crystal room, like a geode, like a huge geode of diamonds, you know, massive, like you could walk inside.
Yeah,
this
it was actually
geode.
after the cave in from the worm thing that shoots a fireball.
Yeah,
then
revealed
they basically only Sam and Will survive, and they are like, okay, how do we get out of here? And then, oh, here is a path. Like, here's a little wind. I feel wind. Let's psycho dash out of here. And then they enter into the diamond room of super awesome crystalness.
I totally forgot about that. Okay, yeah, so they were in a cave-in. They're like, we need to get out of this cave-in so we don't keep getting crushed. And so they looked around for an exit and they found wind, so that's how they knew what direction to go to get out of the cave-in. Right. And then, yeah, it led to the diamond room. That's so neat.
Yeah.
Man, I forgot about that. That's actually, like, really well thought out.
All right. I legitly...
You seem really lost.
Do not know where I'm going. Because this is just more Gaia. I'm like, what the heck?
Does Gaia give you a hint?
Probably not. Gaia
so the one place you need to go to is the locked room. You need a key.
Yeah, and I went back there, and I don't have a key. And so
I think you get a key from a room where you kill a bunch of guys.
Yeah, I think I get a key from a slave person. Like, I talk to them.
Okay.
But
I can't remember if it's from a slave guy or if it's from, like, a skeleton.
Because, like, you know, when you defeat all the enemies, then a path will open. Is there, like, an enemy that I haven't defeated? Like... Because that little thing is me. So enemy is 0. The flashing thing is me. I don't know.
Okay, let me pay more attention to the game. Because again, I'm not really paying attention to anything. I'm just kind of talking and like making commentary and chatting with you and trying to recall stuff. Man, I should really pull up. Okay, I should pull up like artwork for from what I did with the comic before it appears black for like next stream or something, or maybe at the end of the end of the game or whatever. I don't know. But anyways, sorry, that was a little off tangent. Okay, I'm trying to. Now I'm looking for where you are.
I found the enemy. Oh well, okay.
Oh yeah, there he is.
There he is. It's the enemy. I must kill him.
You found him. Good job.
Gaia actually did give good a hint. When all
did
the
she?
enemies, yeah, because she said when all the enemies are, you know, gone, then the path will clear. I knew that thing got destroyed because that thing was blocking my ability to do this. Woo!
Yeah, yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And, so sorry, Crystal Chaos, as far as, like, memes, we did disable links from being posted in chat just because some links can be malicious, and we just don't want, you know, somebody in chat to click a random link and then they get a virus or something. Not that you would ever do that. Like, please don't get the wrong impression. But yeah, just to, you know, general protection for people. But if you have ideas of like where people can look up funny memes, like feel free to, you know, share the name of the website, you know, stuff like that. That's totally fine.
Yeah. And then also on top of it, I've told you this about it in my streams too. I prefer memes not to be shared on stream because it distracts from the content that we're talking about. It's not, you know what I mean? It doesn't really add much of anything. It's just kind of sharing things.
I've got the key.
But so, you know, yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you do have it.
See, I got it from a prisoner. Heck yeah. But just continuing on. Ooh, hello. Okay. Just continuing on with how what we did with the comic is they go into that room and are just totally blown away by all those awesome diamonds in there. Just kidding.
Back and forth.
And so
yeah, I remember it being very beautiful.
Yeah.
At least in my head, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so excited to draw this," and then I never did because we didn't get that far. But
yeah, but we did have, and also like this lift thing, we totally had. The lift was a major part in
it was a big deal.
End of the
oh man, because like didn't Kish and Will kind of face off on one of those lifts, and then like Kish fell off and like kind of died.
Exactly.
And Will was like, "Oh my god, I killed somebody."
Yeah, Yep.
And it was like really conflicting because it's like, oh my gosh, I killed a human, but also he was a very bad person, but also that, oh god, you know, I remember it was a big deal.
Yeah.
For Will. It was very harrowing on him.
And it's definitely like...
It was cool though.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember we were talking about it because we were brainstorming. We're like, okay, so like, what if this happens? And it was like, oh.
And it's definitely one of those
stuff,
things
man.
that just kind of eats away at him. Like in the
Yeah.
moment, he couldn't really. Why are you chained up again? Be free.
Be free.
Be free. Oh my goodness, they caught him.
Be free, sir.
They caught him again. How rude.
Dang it.
How rude, you lizard torturers.
Yeah, screw them.
I don't know. But,
oh no.
but, we decided to, where was I? So, Sam and Will are now in the room of diamonds, and they're like, oh my goodness, if the labor traders knew about this room, they would have a field day. Like, all these diamonds would be gone. Like, 100%. Like, there's one... I have to actually equip the thing and have to actually use the key. It doesn't just auto-use. Go. There's no keyhole for the prison. Oh. I'm smart, guys. What the heck? But I want to go in.
Wait, let me see. I think there's supposed to be 2 keys.
There's one keyhole in this door.
Oh, okay. Wait.
Yeah, that's what I'm at too.
Wait. Let me. Can I see your? Wait, what?
Go again.
Let me see
again.
your inventory.
Inventory. Did I equip the wrong key? No. Oh, maybe. I equipped the
no,
wrong
you totally
key.
did. You need the other one.
I want to trash that one.
I distinctly remember there being 2. Or is that an old key from like previous? Oh my gosh, I don't remember.
It's like the key that Kara gave you, and you're still holding on to it from the prison.
Oh wow, yeah, that's old. I'm pretty sure you do get a second key in this dungeon though, later.
Yeah,
I think.
But
I'm not sure. Dude, it's been like over 10 years. It's been so long. Or not over. I guess it would be about 10 years since we played this game. Because, again, I'm pretty sure the last time I played this game was when we were working on the comic.
Yeah, I
long
think so.
Time ago.
Here's the lift. Yeah. It's the little baby lift.
The little baby, like...
We made it definitely bigger in our
like a
script.
1 by 1 foot space to stand on, and then you just kind of hold on and... Hope
I am amazing.
Fall. Dude, that would be legit terrifying.
Yeah,
like,
a little bit. I'd be like holding on like, oh boy.
Dude, yeah, that's terrifying. That's so scary.
And to answer your question, Malcontent Melon, if the diamond mines are a prison, well, I mean, yes and no, because, I mean, they're not meant to be a prison, but they are, oh yeah, see, here's for the second 2 keyholes here.
Yeah, there we go.
I mean, the slaves are forced to work here to find diamonds, so that's kind of prison-like. And
yeah,
they are chained to, you know, balls so that they don't run away, I guess. So that's why they're chained up like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, that guy's just getting whipped.
I know.
That's so messed up. That's so sad. Oh. Yeah, pretty much life is a prison if you're a slave. Doesn't matter where you are.
Yeah, true that. I'm gonna kill you with this. Die.
Big unfortunate.
Die.
I summon thy power. My power.
Death.
Of death.
Ooh. Get out of here. But after they find the room, they just kind of reminisce of like, wow, this is so beautiful, and this will all be gone if the labor traders find out about this room's existence, so we're gonna, you know, keep this under wraps. And
that, it's also like, it's a good safe room. Like nobody knows where it is. They could reconvene there, you know, and plan accordingly without overhearing and yada yada. Yeah, it's a lot of reasons. And then of course preserve the nature of it, I guess.
And so then they kind of just talk about, I don't know, remembering, and then at that point we decide that thank you, I won't forget what you've done, take this key, thanks dude, I have the key, I don't know how he got it, but I have it now.
Yeah, and see, like, I guess, sorry, not to, I'll let you finish.
Keep going.
You know, but it's like, I guess this is kind of what we were talking about last stream, where, like, there's some aspects in the writing where you're like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? It's like, why would a slave have a key? Kind of like why would they let just Will waltz in, free his friend, and just walk away? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So, of course, for the Gaia comic adaptation, we made it make a little bit more sense, you know, kind of thing. And yeah.
And actually,
oh, hello, you're back.
The
welcome back, man.
The the place that they go after the Room of Diamonds is this place, the morgue.
Yeah.
That these dead bodies.
I forgot. Oh man, this is such a.
And that's when they run into. There's like, we just put an eyeball monster in there to be, you know, dramatic, have something happen.
Yeah, I think it was not even just that. I think because I feel like you can. But then again, we are talking about 10 years ago old us.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I feel like if I were to write it now, the only reason why I would ever include the eye monster is just to incorporate that element of the game into the comic, because honestly,
they do not make any sense.
Yeah. But like a morgue, I feel like is more than enough material to make a really cool, like very sad, emotional scene without a monster being involved.
I know.
You know.
But
I don't know, maybe 10 years ago we were like, we need to make this epic. I don't know, we put the monster in, but I don't know.
I mean, that is a good idea, Crystal Chaos, and especially when maybe as pure as black, like the actual thing that's being rewritten that Alyssa is doing, gets closer to being actually. Oh, I have both keys. Put in the keys.
Yeah, you're
being
solid.
done.
You're ready
then I think that, you know, making a video explaining what As Pure as Black is a great idea, and probably accompanied with like a Kickstarter.
Yeah, legit, I would actually love to. But it's like one of those things where As Pure as Black, oh my gosh, the history of it. It's how it developed. Oh, here's Sam. How it developed, how it came to be is such a long span of time. You know, it's like it started out as completely nothing at all. Nothing, not even a role play. It started out as an Illusion of Gaia comic, or not even, that's kind of separate. But it's like the roots kind of start with this Illusion of Gaia comic, and then it turned into a fanfiction crossover role play between me and Hannah back in 2012, I think is what it was. And then skip ahead to 2014. We stopped there because you were on your mission. Not even that you went on it, you were in the middle of it. And then near mid 2014, I started making it into original. And I was like, okay, this is so different from the source material. Let me just make it original. And then Hannah, you move on to life, and I started role-playing original Spears of Black with Sam around this time. And it was like, and then it became more and more and more and more original. But the thing is, it's with this Spears Black in all of its states, it's really difficult to say what's canon and what's not, because it's just a role play. You know what I mean? It's not like, okay, we're making this definitive storyline. And so we just kind of made like our own little alternate universe or AU timelines based on whoever I was role playing with, kind of thing. So yeah, it's really difficult to talk about like what's canon or not. And it's like it's been so long also since I've worked on As Pure as Black with anybody that like me and now Danny are kind of like scrapping it clean and just doing our own thing again. So I guess it's not going to be for a really long time if we do anything with As Pure as Black. But anyways, I see you're waiting for me. Do you want to explain something for the game?
I do.
Yeah.
As well as Crystal Chaos. It's super cool. Like, I super give you props for, doing your morning prayers. That's really awesome.
It is really cool.
I think that prayers is really good, and a lot of people don't do enough praying, I think. So good job. I applaud you. But anyway,
yeah.
So with this area, we are seeing Sam, Remus, and Imus, which are 3 slaves that were taken from a native land and brought here to be slaves. And
yeah, I believe they came from, I think they said Asia somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere.
In the
and
game.
You basically you visit their homeland later in the game. So because they kind of, the 2 of them referenced like, oh, our homeland has changed so much, there's like nothing to eat there and things are strange there, blah blah blah. But anyway, here Sam is going to give us a melody that will restore Lance's memory, because from last stream, if you caught it, Lance bonked his head and then, or whatever, and his memory's gone. So he's gonna give us this melody, which we'll hear right now.
I totally forgot that they're from there.
Yeah. You've learned the memory melody. So what happened was we had him learn that melody in the diamond room instead, because that just made a lot more sense. That's a very calm room for him to teach him how to do that melody. It's a very complicated melody. I would imagine in like real life you would need to like practice it a few times. So they were able to do that there in the diamond room that they entered into. And then after that, then they went into the morgue, like, escaped out of the diamond room, and they found that morgue with all those dead bodies. And then,
it's very emotional, very sad.
I know. And then basically there was like a labor trader who, Sam was awesome, and he totally snuck behind him and like whapped him, and then like
Whack.
Took his cloak and stuff and took a map and a key to the elevator. And so and he was like, and during this time, I don't even know how, but Will like saw Eric with Kish or something, and Eric was like, I need to go pee, and then, okay, we'll make it quick, and then he was able to chat with Eric for 2 seconds. Like, that doesn't make any sense, but whatever. That's
so freaking funny.
That's what happened. But
10 years ago,
yeah,
see, that's what I'm talking about, where I'm like, I'm sure there's things about the comic where we would do very differently now compared to 10 years ago when we were like teenagers. It's like, as adults, we'd make even more sense and like not so silly in some aspects. You know what I mean? Like yeah. I think if we were to rewrite it today, it'd be a lot better. Which, not to say what we did in the past isn't cool, but you know what I mean?
But yeah,
like,
there are some things like that are like,
yeah.
Well, that doesn't really make sense.
Well, that's funny. Our younger selves are showing in the writing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. As well, anyway. We just really wanted Will and Eric to have an interaction, and we forced it in there. But it doesn't really make sense, but it's what made us happy, I guess, so...
We could definitely do it better now. I think we could find a reason for Eric to talk to Will somewhere in shape and form. Also, for Eric to be there. And all that reason would have to be is just to make Eric a slave.
I know, yeah,
that would just solve all of the discrepancies of silliness about like the lesson versus the we need to have Eric and Will talk, yada yada yada. And, like that would fix so much, and then like it'd be so easy for them to be separated, you know, because they don't want friends to support each other. But it's not to say that they wouldn't be able to cross paths every once in a while. I know, right? It is really funny to see progression where it's like 10 years ago us were like, yeah, this makes sense. And then 10 years later, cut to now, we're like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It is really interesting how that happens sometimes, you know, Crystal. It's so funny.
It's so funny too, like this Diamond Mines place, the only reason basically that you go here in-game reason is like it gives you the remember melody,
right?
And that's like it.
Which is funny because I feel like if somebody's looking for some kind of like memory cure, I don't think overthrowing I wouldn't think a song, but also more. Well, I mean, Will might think a song considering he's had musical magic melodies given to him before, but it's like, it's more like, I don't think I would look for a mining slave site to find that. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
It's a little funny.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I think Crystal Chaos, you speak Arabic, right? Yeah, you said that last stream.
Which is awesome. So cool. So neat. Literally like a beautiful language.
Yeah, I have not had a lot of exposure to Arabic, so I can't like picture somebody speaking in Arabic in my mind super readily. Like I can picture somebody speaking in Japanese because I've had a lot of exposure to that.
Yeah.
As well as Spanish, because in Arizona there's a lot of Spanish speakers.
Yeah.
But basically other languages that are not those two, I like cannot visualize them clearly.
It's a gorgeous language. It really is. Like our friend Kassam back from Arizona, he's Arabic, and he's actually, I think, one of the reasons why we named Habibi actually. Yeah. Really, really neat. It's a gorgeous language, and the writing for it also gorgeous, dude. It's like one of the most beautiful languages I think ever. But anyways, yeah. So Will has pretty much completely liberated an entire slave site, overthrew human trafficking laborers, people, and now has the melody to give Lance his memory back.
Yay, because reasons. Oh wait,
it's like super wild.
Down here and then over. But before we activate the cutscene, we will I'll just briefly explain that after the like morgue thing happens and then Sam gets the cloak for Will and the key and all that. He's like, okay, Will, you wear this cloak because you're white, because we made it so that the natives would have noticeably darker skin, so that they would be easily identifiable, as well as like, foreign, they're the other people. They are the slaves. And so he's like, okay, you wear this because you're white, because you'll pose as a labor trader, and we can, walk past and get Eric and leave the cave, and it's fine.
Yeah, because, labor traders are racists. They're pieces of shits.
Mm-hmm. So, and also all the while, there's this, we get kind of flashes of, there's a person named Creed, who is a labor trader, and he actually is from, he calls it like, I'm from the North region or something, and he's just coming to observe the conditions of the slave trading here in the diamond mines region. And so basically it's like an audit. And so Kish is trying to like put on his best show or whatever, but
and then Will overthrows everything.
Oh yeah. But then even Creed, like, and everybody who Kish works with, everybody was like, yeah, Kish was going overboard. And Creed is like, you made like a white kid a slave? Are you serious? Like, that's like one of our own kind, you know, super racist.
Yeah, again,
but
racist
at least
stuff.
has like some sort of like, oh, look, this is a person and shouldn't be made a slave, where Kish is like, oh, make them all slaves. I don't know. So
everybody can be a slave.
I know. Kish is crazy. Yeah. But we had to make him real evil. We had to make him so that you would hate him so much.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like we want to hate, we want the audience to hate all these people, right? So it's like a reasoning that like, oh, well, you can't make a white kid a slave. That is a reason to hate somebody. But like, we wanted to also make Kish also be hated, I guess, by the audience, because like all of them are messed up. All of them are terrible people, you know, and they're villains. And it's like, the thing is with Gaia as a game that we also wanted to shed more light on is that there's very mature, like, messed up themes like that in the game, such as slavery and human trafficking. And also this took place during, I think, the 1800s, or no, 1600s, Age of Exploration. So it's like, we also wanted to show that too, like, you know, how terrible, like, you know, the representation was as far as how racism was viewed back then and all that stuff. So yeah, we were just making them all like super slimy and like super gross, and then Will's like, this is messed up and I'm gonna save everybody, and Sam's a really good friend of mine, and you know, it was yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. So then as Will poses as the slave laborer guy with Sam in tow, and then they follow Kish, and they track him down, and they took Will's flute, so they're trying to find that too.
They kind of like confiscate everything.
It's like in his office or whatever. So they go to the office and they try to find the
memories are coming back, man.
Yeah. And they try to find his flute, and then like Kish comes into the office and was like, what, that kid's still alive or something? It must be him who's looting my office like this. But he didn't find what he was looking for, and he like unlocks a little drawer of his desk, and he takes out the flute, and then like they spring on him, and it's like, and then he like yanks the flute out of his hands, and then there's like an altercation. Yay, fighting, and then they take the fight, you know, and then there's a lift nearby, and Will's like, all right, I'm gonna escape on this lift. And it starts moving away, and then Kish is like, oh no, you're not, and then he jumps on the lift too, and then there's like as the lift is going, and then basically Will's instincts take over, and then Kish goes, you know, or he goes to Kish, and then wham.
I don't know what
it means,
is, but
just
painting a picture for me.
And then Kish falls off and dies because it's too high up to survive from that height of a fall.
It's like 10 stories high.
And then everybody, like, after that happens, they're like, thanks, man. He was going overboard. He needed to be out of the picture. I'm like, what? So that was a little weird that we read
that is a little weird. Yeah, no, again, 10-year-old us.
Yeah, as well as, so...
No, they should just all be taken down. They're all terrible people. There shouldn't be an encouragement, you know, just screw them all.
there's
terrible
just some
slave owners,
things that
traders, whatever. Fuck
there-
them.
yeah, there's some things that are like only there because we needed to follow the game's trajectory. So weird thing number one is like, you know, well, you guys have seen too much or whatever, or like he's a slave, so he can't go with you, and blah blah blah, so we can't let you leave. Oh, actually, yes we can, or whatever. And then they are allowed to leave. And it's like, okay, you know, you've been through enough today, we can let you off. Like, okay, that doesn't actually make sense.
That also makes no sense.
And then weird thing
nah.
number two was that you know, oh, Sam, you're being let go, you can come with us now, join our group. And then he's like, no, I can't. Even if I gain freedom, I'll just be captured and made a slave again. So, no, I'm staying here. And it's like, dude. And really the only reason that we did that was because Sam does not accompany you on your journey. So, we're like, how do we get rid of him?
Yeah, it's... Again,
So
it's like,
there's
I
that.
really like the mines, but those discrepancies, oh my gosh, we can write them so much better now
Yeah.
and, like, fix them compared to, comparatively.
So,
And wait, how would I rate As Pure as Black from an age standpoint? Okay, well, again, it's kind of hard to say, like, when it comes to As Pure as Black, because, again, As Pure as Black is after the Gaia comic. But it did start, like, I guess it'd be 7 years ago that
I
we
think
started
he
As Pure as Black.
means, like, how mature
Like-
is the rating. Like,
Oh,
so I think that it's high school.
very mature.
High school.
Yeah,
And it might not even be
Yeah.
of your taste if you're in high school.
yeah. I would definitely say it's more adult.
It will probably.
There's some really
it might
messed up
end
things
up
in it.
being like, yeah, adult, like 18,
Yeah.
17, if you're mature. I don't know how much you're gonna go like into deep stuff when you do your rewriting. But I
Yeah.
would imagine you're not gonna hold back.
Oh no, no, absolutely.
And
'Cause
As
it's
Pure as
like,
Black is
yeah.
already bad enough. And
Yeah, no,
Yeah. Anyway.
If it was a movie, it would have to be rated R. Like,
yeah, for
Yeah, 'cause,
violence and
I
for
mean,
sexual
even-
themes.
yeah, a lot of terrible things.
Yeah.
A lot of terrible things. Because there's a lot of really messed up things in
There
this but
is.
I love it.
But it's really cool.
Personally.
But it's also
But
like
it's
real messed
definitely
up.
not for kids.
Not for the faint of heart.
Sure. And I think that's why it's so funny whenever I see, like, don't get me wrong, I love any kind of fan art or interpretation I see of Azal, even though people don't know anything about him. But he's a villain. Like, he's not. It's weird. He's.
All right, I'm
Probably
gonna
the
play the
protagonist.
song now.
Oh yeah.
But you can continue. 'Cause-
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's like Zal is he's not a good person. And it's like, I mean, he goes through character development and kind of has like a redemption arc. I mean, the entire like franchise, I guess I want to say, is him going through redemption arc. But like, he's not a good person. And then it's also like there's, also other, I mean, we're talking about demons. They're literally demons. Yeah, there's a lot of really mature, like, messed up things in As Pure as Black. Even before it was original, it was like pretty like, oh, that's all heavy stuff. But like now that it is original, it's like even more heavy. I love it, but yeah, I wouldn't say it's for kiddos.
Yeah. And as far as the nudity goes, it's not like a normal
It's
like sex scene that you would find in
no,
a book of like
no, yeah.
but
It's not like romance novel sexy. It's not like porn. It's like
the nudity aspect
yeah,
is meant to be disgusting. So
yeah.
it is
It's
there,
supposed to be
but
messed up.
it is like meant to be unsettling and make you
Yeah.
go like this. And
Yeah, and it's definitely
yeah.
not. It's definitely not to be glorified
Yeah.
in any way, shape, or form. It's, as Hannah was saying, it's supposed to convey the message of this is wrong. Yeah, yeah. Again, really, really mature, dark, very dark things happen in As Pure as Black. So yeah, there you go. Here's your answer. Not for kids. Not for kids. I wouldn't even argue teenagers to some degree.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I, like I said, I don't know how far you're gonna go into it. I mean, we did write it, so we wrote it when we were 18.
Yeah, we would write the like really heavy stuff.
17,
18 and even but yeah, 17, 18. And I would say even like I think 20 even.
Well, yeah.
It started to get into that mark. Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah, no, totally. And like the thing is, it's like you're totally right, and you're super fair to feel that way. It's like gore and blood is a lot more easier to stomach in media or in any kind of content than anything regarding nudity or sexual assault or anything like that. Also, I don't want to. Let me just clarify. I don't want to pin it that Zal is like this slimy sexual assault guy. We're talking about other things in As Pure as Black that doesn't really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just so I just want to be clear. Just in case, if you're getting the idea that the nudity, sexual assault stuff comes from directly Zal, it doesn't.
Yeah,
I just want to make it clear. I don't. Zal's not like that. That's just other things in the. I just want to clarify. Not Zal, other characters and stuff like that in the franchise. I don't want to paint a wrong image of assumptions for Zal.
That's really funny. As Pure as Light. I kind of like that.
I kind of like that too. Oh, that's cute. Nah. I don't want to censor As Pure as Black. It's gross. I wanted to stay gross. But yeah, I just really want to make it clear that like sexual assault stuff that we're talking about that happens in As Pure as Black does not derive from Zal. That's other people in the what would you call it? The story, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, the story.
Zal's more of a violence kind of guy.
Yes.
Yeah. Which he's very violent. But yeah.
And here we are going to a random camp in the woods. So I actually do really like some of the aspects that we did with Lance and his memory loss, and B, with how we get to Neil's cottage. Because we have Lance when he has his memory lost, and Lily is there and has been taking care of him this whole time that they have been in this town. And when Will shows up at the inn for the first time, and they, have their greetings, and then, oh, but where's Lance? Did he make it? Well, Lance, he's okay, but his memory's gone. He has amnesia. And
right.
So he is like, well, I want to see him. And so, okay, well, he probably won't remember you. Goes up, and Lance, we made him this super, he's just a really chill guy, and he's just a super kidder. Like, he will, he's a, anyway, he's
humorous
like,
dude.
All right, who's this guy that I'm supposed to remember this time? Let's see him.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. And,
and so he comes in.
He makes light of it.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, I'm Will. I'm from South Cape. We both grew up together. We're best bros. And I always beat you at cards. And he's like, it's official. I don't know you. But I think that I can beat you in cards. I'll bet you $5 I win. But then we made it real. I really like this moment where when he says, I'll bet you $5 I'll win. Well, that's kind of one of his catchphrases that he always uses. And so, yeah, I mean, that's what we just wrote. You know, that's what we arbitrarily decided. And so then, like, Will is, like, super taken aback because that's, like, so familiar, yet this person who should be seeing him as familiar doesn't recognize him. And he's just like, I need a minute. And then he, like, goes out. And I really liked that moment. But anyway.
Aw, so good.
Isn't that good, though?
I really need to reread it. I need to reread it.
Yeah. Then when he gets his memory back, you know, he plays the song and then magically, you know, music magic. He gets his memory back. And it's also really cute because later on in the story of Gaia in the game, then Lance and Lily become a thing. They become a couple.
Right. I forgot about that.
Well,
yeah, because
this
they do in the
is
game,
kind
right?
of they do in the game. And so this is kind of how we began it. Is Lily was taking care of Lance like a lot when he had amnesia, and then he wakes up, so to speak. He gets his memories back, and then he remembers, you know what? Lily cared for me a lot. I owe her so much. And so that kind of is that beginning of that love there. So I really liked that part too. Also, Malcontent Melon, yes, we did write a book called As Corrupt as White, but we do just refer to it as they're two separate books, but to refer to it as one story, we just call it the As Pure as Black series because that's easier.
Yeah. Like, think of As Pure as Black as, like, the entire franchise, even though it's kind of like how it's, like, the first book. You know, it usually takes the name of, or the title of the whole franchise, give or take. But, like, yeah, As Corrupt as White is, like, the second book or like sequel. Also, Crystal Chaos. Sorry we didn't answer your question. I just didn't want to interrupt you, Hannah. I really liked your train of thought, you know. It's like, I don't want sex, I want good plot. That's why I just sometimes don't get that. And you're totally right. It really bothers me when like you watch a movie and there's some useless sex scene and you're like, this is so stupid. As Pure as Black isn't like that. Because it's like there's aspects, it's not just useless random sex. It's like the sexual themes that are in As Pure as Black are very plot important and they're very sad. It's very sad. And it's not just some useless like people doing stupid random stuff. It's like it's very significant and it's very sad. And it's meant to be, it's very plot heavy. I know that's hard to explain, but it's not like just some random useless thing that they threw in for ratings. It's like actually important and sad. But yeah, anyways, kind of two different things. But anyways, but I do agree with you. I do really hate it when I watch a movie or something. There's just some useless random sex scene thrown in. So redundant and isn't needed most of the time. Anyways, okay. Do you plan on making the name As Pure as Black have more impact? Or input or impact on the stories it just named. Actually, yeah, it has a dual meaning. I remember we were trying to think of we were thinking of like, okay, what would be a great name for As Pure as Black? Before we had a name for it. Because so me and Hannah were so crazy obsessed with our roleplay that we're like, let's publish it as a book, like just self-publish, just for like ourselves and friends. We didn't sell it or anything because we couldn't. I mean, it's fan fiction crossover. It's all copyrighted material, even though it's different. Because like books copyright is very different than like print or like fan merch copyright. which is what I do. So very different things. But anyways,
Real quick,
it's
I'm gonna go get the books just to like.
Oh,
show.
you should. Yeah, go get them. Okay. Oh my goodness. Yeah. All right. Anyways, but yeah, as pure as black, the meaning. You know the metaphor black and white and gray area. It's playing off that metaphor. Where. You know what I mean? You know that metaphor where it's like, oh well, the situation is very black or white, meaning morally it is either very only right or only wrong. There's no in between, and then a gray area is the in between. You know, like oh, it's a gray area. It's debatable if it's like morally okay or not. So as pure as black is referencing that metaphor of as pure as black, and black equaling corruption or morally wrong. So if something is pure black in that metaphorical saying, it means it's pure corruption. And if something is as corrupt as white in that metaphorical saying, then it's not corrupt at all. So it's an oxymoron that like references morals with that saying. But yeah, kind of neat. So it's like as pure as black is referencing Girahim, which is aka Zal, because I think I've mentioned to you in one of my streams that Zal is based off of Girahim, and yeah, as you can see in the book, there's Girahim right there, and then there's Will. So as pure as black was referencing Girahim being as pure as black or pure morally wrong. And then, of course, when we converted it all into original, Zalgoroth took his place. And then as corrupt as white is referencing Will. Really cool. So yeah, there's actually a lot of meaning into it. Like a ton of meaning. It's really neat. And wow, there's some old pictures. Yeah, it's very emotional. It's very sad. A lot of sad things. It's so good. It's so good. I can't wait to get further. Danny needs to reply. But yeah, it's gonna be good. I'm sorry, I'm getting excited. So I love it so much.
No, that's the other one. Only one earbud plays the music, and so I have to find the correct one. Anyway,
you're good.
Yeah. I couldn't like hear anything that Alyssa was saying.
But I explained the whole like, you know, it's the title is playing off of that saying of black or white or gray area for morals and stuff that I'm saying. So yeah, and how it's a metaphorical reference to the characters in As Pure as Black. So yeah, really good stuff.
And I guess if we're done of the As Pure as Black
I pretty much answered the entire thing.
Okay, cool. I just didn't want to... But...
No, you're good.
I really like how we transitioned into the cottage, how we handled that in writing the Gaia comic script. Because it just kind of like happens in the game. Like, oh, you're going here now. Well... In the Gaia comic script, first of all, it's like, I really like how we handled this too. The Gaia comic script is full of like little things that make you laugh, like not laugh out loud, but like, that was kind of funny, you know?
Yeah, just kind of like a little chuckle, like...
Yeah, like prime example, there is the part where Will needs to go and run to get up to the elder in Ivory Village. Yeah. And so in the comic we make him do that, but then he like totally biffs it and he falls on his face. And then the elder, you know, he's like, and then the elder is like, how can you be expected to save the world if you can't even make a safe landing? And so it's just like really, you know, that's like, oh, haha, you know, like that's like kind of dumb, but also made me, you know, I appreciate the dumbness of it.
Yeah,
whatever.
So
it's like totally full of stuff like that, up and down. But anyway.
Yeah, like very lighthearted, gentle humor.
Yeah.
You know?
But there's kind of a cool moment where so Lance gets his memory back, and then he's like, yeah, and and I had this weird dream too. I'm remembering this dream that I had, like, and then he like opens the drawer by his desk, and he's like, oh, it wasn't a dream. And it's a picture of the jackal, which the jackal is who is hunting down Kara because she has escaped from the castle, and her parents don't like that, and they want her back, and they hired a bounty hunter to bring her back to them. And so he's like, yeah, I picked this up. Like, this was outside the door one night. I didn't want to wake Lily up. I was getting a drink of water, and this was just there. And I decided to put it in the drawer, and I forgot to tell anybody about it. And, it was about 2 days ago. And then they're like, oh my goodness, we need to leave now. And so that's why they left, is like they just went out and they camped out in the north, and then they were just kind of journeying, and they saw a hut, and then what do you know, this is arbitrarily, like it even says in the game, this is Will's cousin. I don't know what the heck he's doing out here, but he's just doing his adventure thing.
He's kind of a weird little recluse that likes to or like a little hermit, never leaves his house. He's just constantly inventing things.
Yeah.
I guess, apparently.
So I really do like how he handled that in our comic script.
Yeah.
So.
Heck yeah. Man, it's so weird. It's such a false ambition or motivation or inspiration, whatever you want to call it. But it's like, ever since we started replaying this game and like talking about the comic, it's like reviving all the love I have for this game. And like all, and really like kind of very nostalgic, reminiscent feelings of like how much I enjoyed making the comic with you before I got burnt out on it. And it was like, oh man, it'd be so sick to pick that back up. But realistically, it's like, no.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Where it's like you imagine the thought, you're like, yeah, that'd be super cool. But then realistically, you're like, no, no, I can't dedicate my life to that. It'd be one thing if it was, I don't know, I had nothing else going on. But that's the thing, is we're like adults now, and we always have stuff going on.
Sad days.
Plus also, it's like, if I'm going to really dedicate years of my life into making like a content, I would want it to be original, not fan done. Which is why Piers Black is so great, because it is now currently original, and it has been since 2014. So like late 2014, but 2014 nonetheless. So it's like, yeah, but yeah, it's just, I don't know. It really could have been great.
Lily, I want to talk to you. Why are you so far away yet so close? Yeah. Yeah, you can break your ankles and still save the world, especially if you can just turn into Frieden. Just Frieden.
I mean, yes, you're right. You have backup. Also, you're totally right. It's like, as a kid, I wish I had something going on, but then as an adult, I wish I could just catch a break. That's super true. That's facts.
Facts of life right there.
Facts. Absolute facts. Irrefutable facts.
Uh-huh. And I read also as far as like the Incan ship and what we explain that, how we explain that, it's just a ghost ship. Like Will did not actually go into the past, but he saw it with his brain, like his brain thought he was in the past, but he didn't actually, like, nothing happened to his body to be like transported to the past. It was just magic that made him see live Incans and stuff like that. So that's our explanation for that. And we did also determine that Ullman, Will's father, did go there to the Incan gold ship. I don't know how the heck he passed, he bypassed Castoff, the boss, but he went there, and so that's why they recognize him as Ullman, and they call him Ullman. Is because, like, the spirits who are there and are spirits, not actual bodies, they recognize the resemblance between father and son, and they just call him Ullman, short king Ullman, because their king, we decided, was a traveler. Like, he was an explorer himself, and so he was gone, and they've been waiting for the king to return so that they can set sail. Like, that's
so
what
sad.
they've been waiting for. And so
And they were
every
so loyal, they
time
perished,
that
right?
comes, that somebody comes, they always think that their king has returned and now they can set sail. So that's like
so sad.
why that happened, as we explain it. Like, we came up with that explanation, as well as like, honestly, the ring and stuff, that is just something that, oh, well, I guess she has it, you know. We decided, oh, why not? She just has this crystal light ring. Oh, well. That's just something she has. And as far as Castoth goes, he was a demon that was summoned to protect the Ink and Gold ship. And so he is still guarding it to this day from the invaders, even though the invaders, as well as the Incans, are both long dead.
Long gone, yeah.
But he doesn't know that, so he's still just protecting them.
Gotcha.
And then, because he is, like, there's a mystic statue on that ship, and like, a lot of valuable treasure. And so, anyway, that's why he was protecting it. So, that's our explanation of all of the Ink and Gold ship stuff.
Wow, that's wild, dude.
Yeah.
Jeez. And what's crazy too is that, like, hearing your summary of that, which I pretty much forgot almost all of it,
It's a lot.
it's like, I even, cut forward 10 years to now, I'm even seeing, like, slight discrepancies that probably could be fixed. Where I'm like, oh, we could probably write a better explanation now. And, not to say what you came up with earlier was bad, but it's like, I think we could just, like, polish that a little bit compared to then, just as, how we've improved as writers and stuff like that now. But, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, Ink and Gold ship was quite a puzzle, and you did a great job of filling that all in.
And I guess I'll talk about this part later. But I also read, like, the lore that we came up with as far as the dark and light nights go, as well as what that comet actually is and all of that shenanigans. But that's, like, more relevant at the end of the game, so
yeah,
I'll probably just explain it then.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. Wow, I put so much work into Gaia. Also, when did Spears Black get published? I think what was it, 2000? Was it 2013?
2013 and 14,
or 12?
respectively. 13, late right. 2013, early 2014 for the second book. And it's just printed. It's not published.
Yeah.
We printed like 13 copies each or whatever and gave it to close friends. So.
Yeah, I totally said it wrong. It's not published. We just printed it out as a book for ourselves. And then, do you have a main villain for the Gaia comic? Because it's just the game adapted into a comic that we were planning on making. Yeah, the main villain is something called Dark Gaia. What a creative name. Yeah, but as far as Pure as Black goes, it's one of those situations where there isn't necessarily a main villain or a main antagonist. I mean, I guess you could pin it on Zalgoroth's creator, I guess, because Zal isn't born genetically. He was actually made. But I guess you could say, yeah, it would be Zal's creator. That's, I guess, a villain. But at the same time, though, not really. There isn't really a specific baddie that they need to overcome. It's more like the issues that happen in As Pure as Black happen because the circumstances of the situation. Because like Zal is this demon, and he shouldn't be doing things outside of what he's ordered to do, but he starts to get attached to some people that he shouldn't, and by doing so, that creates issues. Just because of, again, the situation at hand. So it's more of like a, yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of like the problems that pop up because of who he is, what he's supposed to do, and what he's supposed to be, and getting tied up in things that he's not supposed to. So yeah, not really a main villain in As Pure as Black. It's just kind of, it's just a lot of weird things, if that makes sense. Yeah. Again, it's kind of really hard to explain without like full context. But it's cool, which I actually like. I personally like that a lot. Obviously, I mean, you know, of course I would like that. Duh. But yeah, I like that there's not some like big main villain that's like wahaha and you need to overcome him. Yeah, it's just problems. Problems that pop up.
Mm-hmm. And like problems with relationships, not like romantic relationships.
Yeah, not romantic,
but like
yeah.
relationships between friends and relationships between like, you know, superiors or not,
Yeah.
and you know, conflicts of interest, and so there's a lot of that going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's a little bit more in depth than just having like this antagonist, and also there's some points where Zal is the antagonist, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you can even say Zal is to a degree, as well as several other characters in the series.
I'm going. Just kidding.
Also, this part of the game that you're in, I love it so much. Not like the specific part, but like the Sky Garden Temple is so sick.
Yeah.
Also, it's probably one of the best themes in the game. I really like the music. When we get there, we're not there yet, but it's really awesome.
Where's this Moon Tribe guy? I know he's somewhere.
I don't know where he is.
He's
somewhere.
I think he's like at the bottom.
Is it bottom right?
I think so. But I did go over there and nothing was there.
Do you have to activate him by like clicking rocks or something?
Yeah, I'll hit all the stones.
Yeah, I think you have to hit all the stones and like talk about stuff.
Oops, I'm not equipped, I guess. I cannot use my flute. I can't whack my friends, guys. I am disappointed.
Also, Crystal Chaos, that's super fair. I don't blame you. I'm also not a reader, ironically enough. I don't hold it against you if you never read As Pure as Black, if it even ever becomes a thing. You know what I mean? It could be like just a original story between friends with me, or one day, maybe in like 5 years, it'll be published. Who knows? But if it does get published publicly, I do not blame you if you don't want to read it, or if it's not even your taste, or, you know, you just don't like reading. I super get it. No worries.
Yeah. Same. Just ditto everything. I should be, for all intents and purposes, a reader, but I just don't have time for that. And like reading, I don't know. I'm not actually a very adept reader.
Dude, I've read like 2 books in my entire life. I am not a reader.
Like I should be, because I went to school for English and I am an editor. But like here's the thing. Here's the thing about like reading versus editing. Okay? So
totally different.
If I'm editing, I am like, my brain is going and I'm like, okay, where's, you know, here's when I'm reading, I'm like trying not to fall asleep. It's really hypnotic to like just do that with your eyes. For me, Jarom over here is totally way more of a reader than me. And he's totally like, he's got one of those brains that like he sees words and then he looks away and he like reads the rest in his brain because he remembers like his eyes and
Wow.
the image is still in his brain, and he can't like not read the rest. And it's a
Wow, that's
blessing.
wild.
It's a blessing and a curse because we watch anime, and the descriptions of the episodes are half the time super spoilery, and he tries not to read them.
Oh my gosh, it's terrible.
But he like can't help himself. And then he's like, "Well, I know what happens now." I'm like, "Sorry, dude. Where is this spirit guy? What do I have to do?"
Oh, no, that's chill, Crystal Chaos. I mean, it's like, it's not all pinned on you that you have to like reading just because of all that, you know? It's like, you're your own person. If reading's not really something you enjoy, that's fine. You know what I mean? But anyways, though, yeah, like me, I'm not a reader. It's really, I don't even really consider myself, like, a writer. I'm like a storyteller. I like to tell stories, but like as far as like constructing well-written sentences for writing, I don't think I'm that good with it. Oh yeah, there he is. I don't think I'm that good about it, but it's also really weird. So it's like, so I live with 4 other people. So we're a house of 5 people, 5 roommates. So it's like me, my boyfriend, my 2 best friends, Danny and Hannah, other Hannah. Not this Hannah here. I have 2 best friends named Hannah.
One is roommate Hannah, and one is, I don't know, Gaia Hannah.
Gaia Hannah. One's the banana Hannah. One's the Hannah banana.
I'm Hannah Banana.
Yeah.
And then the other one's the banana Hannah. But that's like way confusing for other people.
Yeah.
So I'll be the Gaia Hannah, and then that other one will be your roommate Hannah.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, there's me, my boyfriend, and then like Danny and Hannah, and then our other best friend Austin. So we're a house of 5, and like everyone in the house except for maybe Austin, I'm not sure about Austin, all of them love reading. They're like, we should have a little book club in just the house. And I'm like, guys, I'm not reading books. Like, I'm not, like, I do not read. And like, also, I'm really slow. I'm such a slow reader. And like, I also understand that like, I'll be a faster, better reader if I, read more. Because, it's like practicing essentially. The more you do something, the better you get at it. But it's like, I don't know. And it's like, there's great stories out there. Don't get me wrong. I know some of these stories from these books would be fantastic. It's just, I don't know what it is, but reading has never been a thing that I've really enjoyed or been interested in since I was even a kid. And I haven't grown into liking reading. Maybe when I'm older, I'll be more open, or like, I'll enjoy reading, sitting down, with like, I don't know, something to drink and a nice little snack, and like just get all comfy and like read a book, I don't know, in my pastime. As I hear so many people seem to grow into when they're older for some reason, like reading is like a older thing to enjoy. I don't know. But
Bananas!
Like, I'm 26 and like reading still isn't very interesting to me. So I don't know.
I mean, when I do read something and it's a good thing, then I really enjoy it. Like, my mom is a reader, and so she has recommended books to me. And when I have read those books, I've always liked them. But it's just finding the time to read the books. And anyway, so.
It's a commitment, dude, when you like sit down to read a book.
Yeah,
like,
when I was reading more, I would like, all right, this is my hour of reading time, So I can't just like read a little. I don't know. It's hard for me to just like read a little bit and read a little bit. I have to like, all right, here's a block of time.
Yeah. It's like, okay, let me set aside like 5 hours to read this book.
I would fall asleep.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh man, I love this dungeon. It's so cool.
It's really neat. And like what we did with this is, I mean, it's pretty similar, but we did add the facts of well, I mean, we just kind of touched it up a little bit, as well as when he gets transported up there, I don't know, like, Frieden does half the dungeon, and Frieden kind of recognizes this place because it is ancient, and he is also ancient, and he can explain to Will, this used to be the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, and because there is a world wonder that did exist like that, so we decided to make it that.
Back in the day.
And, so that's what we decided to do with this. That's probably the most, like, change that we made. We kept all the enemies. We kept all of that. Though, we did, with the Upside Down, Will tossed something out to make sure that, it would, gravity would do the thing. Rather than just like, I'm going for it and I might fall to my death. So, we did do that. But
oh, right, that's cool.
About everything else is the same.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I remember struggling with this dungeon a lot. And I think part of the reason why... writing it, yeah. And I remember it was getting more and more of a struggle to write it because it was like we had just gotten done with the the slave mines, the diamond mines, and which is a dungeon. And again, I really can't stress enough how difficult of a challenge it was to write dungeons. Just because of the way game dungeons are designed, and game design, it's very, very difficult. They don't really lend themselves to like a linear story. And so it's like we just got done with the diamond mines and we put so much work and effort into it, and then we went straight into another dungeon. There's like barely little to no transition between dungeons. It's like, okay, we have Lance's memory back, let's go to Neil. Okay, now we're here. And it was very like, we were still recovering, I think, from the diamond mines. At least I was. And I think it was around this time where I started to lose inspiration for the comic, unfortunately.
Yeah, there was in the comic, it was like, in the script, it was, because we have it all, like, fleshed out up through all of this. But then the first part that's, like, not done yet is... insert Viper fight that Alyssa will write here. Like, that's what the text says.
And then I never did.
And the Viper is the boss, so...
yeah, Viper is the boss of this dungeon, yeah. Which, the thing
that would be really cool, like, visually.
I know. Yeah. And, the thing is... it's like, okay, so writing a dungeon is difficult and very much of a challenge. Writing a fight scene is even more difficult. Like, writing fight scenes is so hard, and it's like, for not just for like the Gaia comic, but just in general, writing fight scenes is so hard, especially in like text, and it's like even in the role play, whenever we would have a fight scene, it was so like, this is so difficult. Like, it was, oh man, I hate fight scenes in writing. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's hard to convey what you want to convey. And it just takes so many words to explain what you want to have the audience visualize when it's supposed to be so quick.
Yeah. And like the progression of what you said, you're supposed to be really quick. It's like the pace. How to pace it correctly? That's so difficult because it's like, it takes, like, sometimes, depending on what's going on, it could take paragraphs to write something that happens in 3 seconds in real time, Yeah. So it's like really, really difficult to make fight scenes into writing. It's a bit easier in a comic form, but like when you're writing script-wise, it sucks. It's almost easier, at least for me, to just skip the scripting part of the fight scene and just go straight into drawing like panels. And it's like, you know this. I like animating animatics of fight scenes, you know what I mean? So it's like I could do I can imagine in my head how it's supposed to go.
Welcome to the
like drawing it
upside
out.
down.
Yeah.
Look, clouds, because we are on the
You see the
underside.
sky.
And so when you look over the edge, whoop, then you see the sky. It's real cool. Also, something that's, I guess, fun fact, is I have a history of making crazy cakes, and Alyssa has helped me on multiple occasions, and we've made a cake themed after, oh, I cannot shield those. After As Pure as Black, actually that was only me, but she helped me with a cake that was as corrupt as white, and that was really fun. And she helped me with the Sky Gardens cake. We made a Sky Gardens cake, and it was really awesome. And
yeah, no, the
when
cakes that we would make together was
when
so
I
fun.
edit this video, I'll totally just like cover
Pop
the
in
chat
some of
or
those
something
images.
with
Do it.
Oh,
also,
boy.
I can't. Let me just say the cake decorating. 90% of that is Hannah. I am not. It's weird. Okay, so it's like I'm really good at clay.
You had the fondant. You did the fondant part.
Yeah. It's like fondant. I'm good at fondant because it's essentially clay that you can eat.
Yeah.
You know, it's edible clay, and it's like I'm good at sculpting, even though I haven't posted any of it, anything that I've sculpted or like made from clay before. I'm really good at it. I should really make video or process of me making something. But anyways, it's like I could do clay. Obviously, I could draw. I can do all these things. Frosting for cake decorating. I can't do it, man.
Frosting is my medium. I love working with frosting.
I don't know how you manipulate that and make such great clean shapes with frosting. I don't know how you do it, man.
I don't know how like people on like I don't know those YouTube videos on like or on Facebook that you see of like look at this amazing cake. And it's like so pristine and picture perfect, and you're watching somebody make it like with their hands. And I'm like, wow, that's like crazy. Because like definitely mine, you can tell that they are made by a human being rather than by like a machine or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, but because I am just a human being. Oh, man.
I mean, but also though, to give yourself more credit, you are like self-taught. You haven't gone to like professional cake decorating classes, which apparently is an entire profession. You know what I mean? So you're really good.
Thank you.
Because like I've tried decorating cakes like on my own, and it's a travesty compared to what we would do. And by we, I mean mainly you. Like I really. It is not. The thing is, I still enjoy doing it though. Like I want to make a cake for Brandon's birthday this year, which I mean isn't for a while. It's in October, but it's like I want to make one. I hope I could do it well. I don't know if I really have faith in myself, but he likes fondant. And I'm good with fondant because, again, it's pretty much clay, you know? So I'm like, okay, I'll just do fondant. It'll look good if I use fondant. It's a shame because I don't like fondant. I think it's gross. But
yeah, whatever. I don't like fondant either. Oh, get away, out of my face, out of my face, out of my face. Oh, okay.
Also, that's fair about, like, the story you want to do with, like, Crystal Chaos. It's sometimes, yeah, dude, writing's difficult, man. That's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Also, neutral chaos is chill, you know, chaotic neutral. And yeah, I don't know. It was funny because like with the cakes, so I actually love cake. I was actually watching My Hero Academia earlier today, and like one of these characters makes cakes because he has an ability called like Sugar Rush, and if he eats sugar, he gets like super powerful. So he'll bake cakes and like sugary things a lot, and he's like. He offered a chocolate cake to Midoriya, and which is the main character, and I'm like, oh, I want cake now. And I've just had this craving for chocolate cake ever since. But when it came to decorating cakes, it was like, by the time we finished, I never wanted to eat the cake. Not because it was like, oh, it's an artwork and it's really pretty and I don't want to destroy it. No, it's more like I don't want to eat cake right now. I'm so sick of sugar. Like, it's so weird how that works. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like during the process when we are making the cake, I want to eat it all. But the moment we're done and I'm like, no, I don't want any more sugar. It's so weird. I'm like, give me some salt, man. I'm like, give me some chips or something. I don't know.
Chips, man.
Fries. I don't know. Something not sweet. I want that. So like we would spend a long time on these like really pristinely decorated cakes. I think even so much as like 2 days on them sometimes. Because, you know, cake lasts forever. It doesn't go bad. And it's like, we would finish, and it's like, I'd maybe pick at it a little bit. I never really had, like, a huge piece. But, like, sometimes we would invite friends over just to eat the cake so it didn't, like, go bad. Know what I mean? You know, it didn't go to waste. You remember that? It's like, there was a bunch of neighbor kids or whatever we invited over.
Yeah.
And they just destroyed the cake.
Yeah, they did. It was
I'm
great.
like, please eat this. And they're like, am I only allowed to have one piece? And I'm like,
just nom it. Just.
I'm like, just destroy this cake. Eat
and
it.
they did.
Demolish
it.
They did. Yeah.
It was
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Is it this one that I go? I think maybe. Oh, hey. What's up? Die. Yeah, the underside, upside down world side definitely has stronger enemies. Also,
yeah,
this is a cool shot. Oh yeah. With my flute. You die by my flute. Oh yes, I needed another herb because I totally used some herbs earlier because I didn't really want to die.
Fair. Yeah, I saw you got pretty close earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like the music from this dungeon. It's so cool.
It's very mysterious, but yet triumphant and like makes you want to adventure.
It's very triumphant, but it's also like majestic, you know?
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
What do you know?
It's just such an interesting take on a dungeon because it's not what you normally think of as a dungeon, you know what I mean? It's not like a cave, it's not like a fortress, it's not like a castle. It's like this sky garden structure that's just, it's so pretty and eloquent, you know? And I think the music really brings that out on like how not dungeony, you know, like dungeony, you know what I mean? That this is. It's very beautiful. But it still has that ominousness, that ominous twist to it from like the underside where it's like, okay, there's still danger here, you know, like there's some corruption in the beauty.
What monster would we be if we were not human?
Good question.
I would be one of these blob things. Just kidding.
Like, and dude, legit, it'd be cool to be a dragon. I know that's like the most like basic bitch answer, but like legit though, I mean, that'd be kind of sick. I'm just saying.
That's true. Oh boy, oh boy.
You know what would actually be really cool though? Like a shapeshifter or like a changeling though. That would be neat. Because then you could like transform into like animals. So it's like, that means you could like, you could be a bird and fly. You could be, I don't know, a shark and breathe underwater or something. You could be strong or big or small. Like, that's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of neat.
That is pretty neat. Yeah, I would probably just pick dragon. Like, that's freaking awesome.
I would be a dragon. Roar. Fear me.
Hey, yeah. Okay.
What would you be? Oh.
I'm gonna move you even more out of the way because you're still in the way. We'll take it.
You'd be a griffin? Dude, that'd be cool.
Ooh, that'd be neat.
I love griffins. Griffins are beautiful.
It's too bad I get so, like, motion sick, though.
Motion sick? From what?
Yeah, from just, like, you remember when we went to surf camp? And, like,
Yeah.
I couldn't even, like, be out on the waves for too long, because I would get, like, seasick.
Right, I remember that. Yeah, like, you could only go out there for, like, 2 hours max without being
Yeah.
like, okay, well, I need to stop.
Yeah, exactly. Oops, well, finally did it, guys. I whacked it enough times with my blunt flute. Sup, Gaia? And actually, this is probably a good time to end the stream.
Yeah, actually, yeah, because it's almost 9. Also, Crystal Chaos, that's awesome. That, what you described, what you would be, that is so sick. That's really, really neat. I love that. So it's like your crystal and pure energy, and you could, like, shatter and, like, reform into different shapes and stuff. That's really, really cool.
And then, yeah, that crystal core. It's pretty neat. That's awesome.
Yeah, I like that. That's, like, really creative. I'm about it.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah, that's super neat.
Awesome.
Well, so I guess this is the end of the stream?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but this was super duper fun. And
Yeah, man.
we'll continue next week. Thank you all so much for tuning in and watching. I hope that you enjoy, you know, learning a little bit more about us, about Piers Black, about the comic that we wrote. So,
yeah, and also it's really cool that you are here, Crystal Chaos. I really wasn't expecting to see you, so that's really cool to see you here. Yeah. So
right,
thanks for coming, guys.
Yeah. All right. Well, without further
I
ado,
know.
sorry, Crystal
I
Chaos.
I'm sorry.
We will totally see you on Tuesday for the next
Yeah,
stream.
man. Tuesday or Friday or whatever. Yeah.
All right. Well, this is Common Tenacity signing off.
Wow! Yeah! Wow! Yeah!
Bye!